Hello everyone, welcome back to Honey Hill. I hope you're doing really well and having a good day. My name is Samantha if you are new here, and today I'm going to be building willow arches in my kitchen garden for sweet peas and clematis and other climbers. I've had arches behind me here for 3 years. If you have seen my previous kitchen garden tour videos, you will know the arches I am referring to. However, we had a very harsh winter this year with a couple feet of snow, and that was really wet, heavy snow. And with that snow over the winter and the length of time that snow just stuck around, my arches finally kind of collapsed in the middle and I needed to remove them. So I'm super happy that I got 3 years out of them. I actually wasn't expecting to get that much use out of them. They are a semi-permanent or temporary kind of structure when you use branches. However, I also, with the previous arches, used T-posts and the cattle panel, the mesh that comes in rolls. And this year, what I want to do is use only willow branches or only found branches so that it's something that I can take out and just fully compost and not have any leftover metal that I am dealing with. I'm going to just see how that goes this year. But I'm going to just be filming the process. I'll check in with you guys if there's things I want to note for you. But I hope you enjoy it. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I got these willow branches from my parents' property. They live on about 10 acres in the middle of a forest, closer to a large river, and they have some wild willow that grows on their property, and I was able to get a bunch of those branches, and I might even go back to my compost pile and pull out some of the old branches if there's the ones that aren't snapped. But I wanted to show you, so I'm just using some Felco No. 2 pruners, a little hand saw, and I'm going to be tying everything with twine, and I have scissors to cut the twine, some gloves if my hands get really dirty, and I might be switching to some other gloves because it's really chilly today, and my hands might get really cold. What you can do beforehand is cut all the side branches off of the willow. However, I think I'm going to leave everything until the end and see how I want to braid it and just really organically flow and how I create this structure and just play around with how everything looks. And I can always take things away, but I can't put anything back. So I just want to kind of leave everything and see how I get along. Okay, let's get started. So the arches are pretty much done. It is such an organic process that it really just sort of takes the shape that it wants to. And I spent a lot of time just kind of fussing with it, fiddling with it, seeing where I could get the curves to be, seeing where I could get the branches to spiral on themselves, using the really thin wispy bits of the willow to tie in on itself without even needing twine. tying in with the twine where and as I needed it, and then trying not to really waste too much of anything. So if there were branches that were sticking in the wrong direction that you saw me clipping off, I tried to use them as either lateral supports across the sides or buried into the soil as sort of extra initial trellising for the sweet peas and the clematis to grow up. Now I'm going to probably add, particularly on the back set of arches, since there isn't quite as much lateral growth on those particular branches, I'll probably be adding some lateral strings of the jute twine so that it will act as a ladder for the climbers to climb on as they grip towards the top. But I am actually really happy with how this turned out. I'm not always sure when I start these kind of projects what it's going to look like in the end. And there's always a moment where I'm just like, oh, what have I done? What have I gotten myself into? But I'm pleasantly surprised with how it looks. I'm happy that at some point when I need to take it down, I can just easily pull the branches out of the ground and compost them or burn them or do whatever it is that I need to do with them, and I can start over, and I'm not going to be throwing away some piece of structure that I no longer like anymore. Okay, the arches are done, and also, how pretty are these? I think these are apricot parrot tulips. I think, and they're also intermixed with Renown Unique. And I planted these 2 years ago, and they're what are left of the tulips. And then I have this Betty Corning clematis planted here that you've seen in previous videos. And yeah, 3 of her branches broke off, so I'm going to try to root those so I don't lose. Maybe I can get some extra plants out of that. And then over on this side, I have tons and tons of, and I'm stepping all over it, of sweet rocket. It just seeded itself everywhere. This is the Floret Pale Lavender Sweet Rocket. And what I'm going to try to do is dig it up. Since it's been raining, everything, it's just such a nice time to move stuff, and it's cool and rainy. It's going to get really hot in about a week, so this is the time to do it. So I'm going to try to dig up as much of this as I can, and then I'm going to try to plant it out in the rose meadow, and then plant all the sweet peas along here. And then this bed is full of tulips. We have pink star. This one looks like maybe Copper Image, but it didn't look like this last year, so I don't know what this one is exactly. I think it's Copper Image. And then this one is one of my favorites. It's called Santander, and it's this beautiful, look at those like almost like ruffly teeth at the end of the petals, and then inside it's blue inside. If you can see one, if it's more open, you'll see, I don't know if I can get one in there, but they are this really striking blue inside. And see, I just stepped on one, but Sweet Rocket is everywhere, and I love Sweet Rocket, so I'm not mad about it. But there's a big one that's seeded itself into the gravel. But I want to find a better place for them to spread out as much as they want. And then this bed has some more parrot type tulips, more Santander tulips, and then this variety, which I did not plant, and it looks like it has that tulip disease. But I had pulled a bunch of them last year. 2 years ago when I ordered bulbs, so many of them were mislabeled. And lots of people have asked me about these, so what's the purpose of those? And I had heirloom mums in here in the fall, and so those get really tall, so I was staking everything. And it's nice to have these little terracotta toppers on those stakes, so that when you're gardening in a raised bed like this, you're not gonna not see the stake and then jab yourself in the eye. And they're just decorative and pretty little finials to have on top of the stakes. But I love them, and these were made, I'll link them down below. These were made by Wakefield Handmade, who makes some lovely pots. Now, if you remember, I started my sweet peas in these toilet paper rolls inside, and when they germinated, I brought them outside into the cold, into the wind, into the elements, into the bright sun, so that I would not have to harden these off. Now, these are just completely ready to go out now. Sweet peas are so much more tough than we give them credit for. They can really handle cold temperatures. They were snowed on, and they really didn't skip a beat. So now that they're going to get planted out in their permanent home, they're going to really start to take off. You can see these tap roots, just how long they are. I've amended this bed with purely compost and some biotone starter fertilizer, and I'm going to be watering these with a liquid water-soluble fertilizer weekly as they start to grow. Okay, so these are ready to be watered in, and they will be off. There is drip in these beds, so I will just be checking that their water levels are adequate as they get going. I can add some twine along the bottom or just more little branches to help them get clinged onto as they are starting to grow, but they will take off and do well on their own. In addition to the arches in the kitchen garden that I built today, the leftover sweet peas are going to be planted around these two obelisks that I built last year, and I had some people asking me if they survived winds and if they did okay and they need to be weeded, but these have done great. They both are still intact. This is my very messy patio, and I'm going to clean them up, add some compost. There's already drip to these as well, and add some biotone starter fertilizer, plant some sweet peas in them, and they will be good to go also. Okay, that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing me make my sweet pea arches in my kitchen garden. I'm probably all covered in dirt now, but thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Happy gardening.